Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing.
Fly me to.
On my phone. Cool.
Yeah, I've got nothing.
Oh wait, yeah, I was directing something.
There we go.
Cool.
Testing, testing.
Yep, we're good.
Jordan.
I do my hair.
Toss. Check my nails.
Is this Nick running in the background of your video?
All right, so how are we going to get guests in and out?
Stand in the
They're all
corner.
going to stand in the corner. Apparently.
Cut to her.
And we can get in and out with.
Oh hey yeah.
Okay.
Oh
Is
hey
that
yeah.
microphone staying there?
No, it's going to go. Jackson
Should I
sit
go
down on
over
the floor
there?
behind.
Oh I
I
am.
think so.
Yeah.
So,
Don't be spitting cheese out.
I walk away.
What the hell are you doing?
Don't we want that microphone?
Not anymore apparently.
Well, you're the one that's throwing it all over.
He yanked it.
I did it. I gave you more cord.
I'm just sitting here minding my own business.
Listening, Lizzo.
You have enough?
Jordan, can you see what the
Jack's
balance
behaving
is set
himself
to?
quite well.
It's 3,600.
Who winds these cables? You guys, I tell you what.
I was at 4,000.
I think I went through 4,000. But let's look like on the monitor.
Well, this is really tiny.
I do my
What's your ISO?
Shoot him in the head.
I didn't like it. Either of you.
Are both of the
Either
lights set
Yep.
to the same temperature?
That's not even on.
That's not even
I don't
on
care
yet.
what
So
they
we
say
haven't
before
really
that.
yet.
I'll get to that
So-
part. I have to sing it.
All right. All right, let's go ahead and power that up.
Light it up, 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 light it up, light it up. I'm on fire.
Rewatcher. Striking?
Why are you on fire?
Because they're lighting it up.
Oh. The hell?
I know it's that one.
I feel like I'm
I didn't realize it was like that, honestly.
Not like that.
Don't have amps.
No. A lot of them are just like productions apps too.
If your brother wears a wig,
You're so strange.
Where you at?
gonna
Jordan,
call
where you
him
at?
Mr. Fig.
Color.
Yeah, what's your
Color?
why?
With my color?
What are your knobs
Because-
like on yours?
Figs are bald.
Where's the dial?
Yellow is like the very,
What?
like,
Everyone
lowest.
knows that.
Okay.
And then dimmer is
Am I
the
wrong?
lowest too.
Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Yours looks way.
It's okay, it's fine. It's okay.
Oh, it's a fading. It's fading out.
She's a dying a slow death. Not that slow. She's actually dying
I
pretty
mean,
fast.
so the difference.
Aw.
Oh, there she is.
Come look.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Up on the
He
lowest
turned it
one.
on yesterday. Trying to get it to balance.
On the left side.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
we'll just have to match it best we can.
Oh, it's working.
Yeah, it's on.
What the hell are you doing?
I would.
We just can hear it.
Do we need to get?
And we
this
heard
better?
that you said pigs are
Maybe a little.
bald.
All right.
Figs are bald.
Just
Brought to you live.
can you zoom in a little bit?
night.
It's not though. It's Sunday, right?
One more
I
this,
don't
more
even know
left,
what
more
day
right.
That's good. That's
I
good.
did a lot
yesterday.
Wait,
What day is it?
sound on right now?
Okay, share the thing if you have interwebs.
So we're not going out.
Did you share it? Okay, I was like,
I did.
Is this
if
hammer
you
good?
shared it, I'll share it.
Yeah.
I was touch you or something.
Andrew, you're directing. You tell him.
Tell him what?
Be safe out there, man.
I would say what else we need. I would.
Brought to you by
Same
Bo
color.
Because, I mean, I thought it looked better when it was warmer, but I mean, like Nick was saying, it's different on there. So
Yeah, but at least they match up. But it's not level.
No.
We're in a horror movie right now.
Oh.
Yeah, look what you got to work with.
Oh,
Oh.
don't talk about yourself like that.
Zombie.
Are we level?
Nice.
My game holds up mirror.
I got you. Thank you.
Thank you. I
got
appreciate it.
Good? Yeah, it's level.
I do my
Left,
hair
right.
tall. Check my nails. Baby, how you feeling?
Feeling good as hell.
Sort of bed. Maybe
He don't love you
slightly more in the
anymore.
right direction. Not that much though.
Walk your
Rest of
fine
directions
ass
are
out the door.
I'm vibing very much right
Take
now.
your
So,
crutches
what does-
in your
I
hand.
meant like tilting in like her direction.
Like-
That's the T.
Wait,
Oh,
are you
like,
sure this
that's
is
the
Just
truth or the
slightly, not-
secret?
not- it's not
Make sure
much.
that's on mute.
I feel
Turn
like
it
that should
back
be
that
the
way,
name of
but
our show.
fix the tilt.
Hello, it is Dr. Nikki Freeman, and we are super excited to come to you tonight with our Scotland wrap-up show. So we have a couple students who will be joining us on the show, and like I said before, we'll be talking about our debates in Scotland so far, and also our experience before we head down into England and wrap up this last leg of the Montgomery Cup trip. So our first student on the show today is Bobby Gums. Bobby, it's super exciting to have you on. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for asking me.
You're
This is fun.
welcome.
I'm excited.
So, Bobby, tell me just a little bit about yourself in terms of your year in school, your major, those sorts of things.
Ooh, okay. I've been in school for a very long time. This
That's
is
okay.
year 7. I'm working on my second degree. This is women, gender, and sexuality studies. Yes, is what I'm working on now, and I've been taking a lot of classes from a lot of different areas for the last few years just to kind of set myself up for grad school. That's kind of where I am.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Bobby is one of the most well-rounded, brilliant, most articulate people I have ever met. We have loved having her on the team, so
Thanks.
it's fun to bring you back on the trip because she came with us last year.
Yeah, I'm excited to be back.
Well, speaking of that, could you tell us a little bit about the differences from last year's trip to this year's trip?
Ooh, yeah, okay. So this year, it was definitely different having to get in the mindset of, like, this is going to sound really silly, but last year we went to Ireland first, and I know the difference between Ireland and Scotland, but my mind was like, this is what it's going to be like. So I had to get myself to adjust. We didn't have to go from euros to pounds, thank God, and that was a lot more convenient. It's been interesting having so many debaters from UCM, and it's been fun because we are a very close-knit group, and we've gotten to bounce a lot of ideas off of each other. So in that way, in terms of last year in comparison to this year, it's been a lot different, but I think it's been fun.
Sure.
It's been good.
Yeah, yeah. And you are one that likes to soak up all of the culture possible.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your favorite things to see and do while you are overseas.
Okay, I love castles. I love castles so much.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't, right?
I think they're super cool. I wish they were in the U.S. I love, I love going around and looking at like the dungeons, and I get really emotional in cathedrals, so that's always fun because they're gorgeous, and I love architecture. So getting to go in and look at the different period styles and think about what it must have been like to like even have to create those in that time with all the tools we have now. Crazy. It's my favorite.
I feel like when we go to Durham and you see the Durham Cathedral, your mind is going to just be blown.
I know, I'm really excited. I'm mentally prepared to cry.
It is one of the most gorgeous places I've ever seen in my life. Also, Harry Potter fan, right?
Yes.
And several scenes from Harry Potter were filmed in the Durham Cathedral.
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Mind blown.
I'm so excited.
Oh my God, okay, so now you know why Jack and I love to do this trip. Like, this is what we get to be around the whole time, and we get to watch our students experience all these awesome things. So I'm very excited to watch you experience the Durham Cathedral for sure. So it'll be good. It'll be good. So let's talk a little bit about the debates really quickly. I had said in our show yesterday that you serve a pretty important role in the debates. Bobby usually serves as our whip speaker. Can you just tell us a little bit about what that means? What do you do in the debate?
Yeah, so as the whip speaker, basically what I'm doing is I have to boil down what the debate actually comes down to. So like my flow is, when I do it, it's pretty extensive on the flow, and then I start out by every single time a different speaker starts, I write out different questions that I can have by the end of the debate about what's the bigger picture, because we hear a lot throughout the debates and it's a lot of back and forth. This is good, this is bad, like I'm better, you're better. But what my speech really boils down to is what is the overarching like impact and bigger picture of the entire debate, instead of, yes, you had this one really awesome statistic, but that's not exactly what's going on. So I go summary, 4 questions, and then why the questions that I asked are so important for the bench that is winning that day's debate. That's what my job is.
Very nice. Could you just tell our viewers at home what a flow is?
Oh, yeah, okay. So a flow, when you're watching the debates, every single person, when they stand up and speak, a flow, you write down their points that they say, the really important things that you think are going to keep going on throughout the debate. That way you can reference back to them, so you don't stand up and you're like, maybe you had a point about economics. Like, you know they had a point about economics. You need to write down what they say so that you can stay in the debate. You can ask questions when it's not your turn, things like that. It's kind of like your cheat sheet.
Right. So you're basically writing notes, almost outlining the speaker's speech as they're speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your helpful tip for the day, learning what flowing is in a debate. So, Bobby, I have a little fun game for you.
Okay.
So one of the things we love about this trip is, again, exposing our students to different cultures, different foods, different experiences. And one of our favorite things to do in St. Andrews is visit the cheesemonger. And it is seriously an entire store full of cheese. So if you can see, we have an assortment of cheeses in front of us. And we're just going to work on our debaters' palates today. So Bobby, I would like for you to use this makeshift cheese cutter
Deal.
to choose one, whichever one you'd like to try first.
Okay, I'm most afraid to try this one. I'm going to do this one first.
Oh, look at her digging in. Okay.
Do I-
Don't eat the rind. Yeah,
That's what I was
don't
going
eat
to
that
ask.
part.
Okay, am I good to turn it around?
Yeah,
Am I
you
good
can
to
touch the rind, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to flip it this way. Here we go. Do I get to know what it is before I eat it, or do I eat
No.
it? Oh.
Yeah, no.
Okay, that's a game changer. Let's do this.
So, you know, one of the great things that we teach in speech and debate is impromptu speaking. So speaking off of the cuff. So, Bobby, go ahead. Take a moment to taste this cheese.
Okay. What do I have to do after I taste it so I'm prepared and I make the right faces?
Okay. After you taste it, I'm going to ask you to give us your best review of what this cheese tastes like and how
Okay.
you would describe it. I mean, I'm going for specifics here. Like, see if you can pull out flavor palettes. Let's work on this refined cheese palette
Okay.
and see what we can come up with.
Okay, let's do this. Okay. This one's kind of sweet. It's really fruity. I like this one. It would go really well with a nice wine. It's like heartier.
But this is a family-friendly show, so we don't have
So
wine.
Capri Suns would go
Yes.
really well with this cheese. Like a nice chili fruit punch Capri Sun. Mwah. I'd say 4 out of 5 mice from Cinderella would love this.
Oh.
It's very good.
Okay, so you say you detect hints of fruit. Could you tell me what types of fruit?
Oh no, I think they're berries, and I said that I'm probably wrong. But I instantly thought of, you know, that scene in Ratatouille when he has like cheese and he's eating like different berries with his brother. I picture raspberries and things like that when I eat it.
Okay. I mean, that was a pretty good explanation. I like that. All right. Would you like to try one more and try again?
Yeah, I want to try this
Okay,
one.
go for it. I'm not entirely certain how this one works. I
Me
think there's
either.
a wax covering, so just cut right into it.
Okay.
But let's not eat that wax covering. I mean, or do if you're feeling daring. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not.
So we will have one more debater coming on the show, and she will be doing the same sorts of thing. And then we will have a DMP student joining us, and he will be serving as the judge to adjudicate which debater has the most refined palate and is able to explain their cheese tastes the best.
Okay.
So there you go.
This one didn't taste the way I thought it would.
Oh. If you didn't catch that, she said this one didn't taste the way I thought it would.
This one's actually really smoky. It's good. It's smoky, it's nutty. It took a while. I was taken aback. I expected something completely different, but it is a good cheese, I promise. It's very like earthy in the way that it tastes. I'm gonna say like 5 out of 5 mice would eat this one. It cuts perfectly and it's like chunky and kind of like powdery the way you expect. This would make a really good macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
That was a hard game.
But you did extremely well.
Thank you.
Now you can see why Bobby is one of our strongest debaters. She is able to come up with a very detailed explanation of the cheeses in front of her and just roll with the punches. And those are some skills, not so much the cheese part, but rolling with the punches, being able to take that big picture component and boil it down into a speech. That's really what the whip speaker is all about. And that's a tough position to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's been your favorite debate so far?
Ooh. Okay. I want to say our debate about the U.S. seeking accommodations with Russia in opposition. Was it China in Russia in opposition to China?
Okay.
Was my favorite debate because I like getting to talk about international policy and international law, and especially when like it has something to do with China. I'm like, yes, that's like my niche. So
Okay.
that one was my favorite. It put me in a position where I felt really comfortable to talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. And that was our debate against Dundee.
Yes.
Lovely people, so sweet,
Oh, yeah, it was
so
great.
fun to be with. Yeah, good. Okay. And at the Dundee debate, the adjudication panel gave us the 1 and the 2 in the round, so that was a pretty exciting debate for us.
Yeah, we all did a really good job. I was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
excited for
It was
everyone.
a fun debate. It was a very fun debate.
Oh yeah.
Well, Bobby, I really appreciate you joining me, trying the cheese game. You did great.
Thank
great.
you.
And I'm sure we will talk to you again, but I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Okay, thank you, Nikki.
Yeah, of course. So next up, we have Marissa Mayo, and she is one of our graduate assistants for the team. And Marissa fills a very unique role on the Cup this tour. She is serving as our chief adjudicator. So Marissa is not necessarily debating, but she is one of the judges for each debate. So Marissa, it's so great to have you here.
Well, thanks for inviting me to your room. I
Well,
appreciate it.
Well, thank you. So this is Marissa's first time on the trip. This is her first year at the University of Central Missouri. So far, what do you think about this experience?
Wow. I mean, honestly, this is probably the best experience I've ever had. There's just so much history here. And unfortunately, we don't learn a lot about it in school. You know, we don't get to hear about Scottish history. I mean, obviously, English history we get to hear a lot about. But it's just so awesome. Like, there's so much. And the architecture, the food, I'm very picky. So getting to try this new food has been very exciting.
Yes.
And the culture, it's just so awesome to take everything in. I really love it.
Good. What's been your favorite part so far?
I would say St. Andrews. I really liked the cathedral and the castle. They are just, it is so crazy that they built those by hand. They're just so beautiful. But they're also really dark, you know. Everything tells like a story. And I just love that.
There definitely is a feel to St. Andrews, and it's a hard feeling to explain, but it's a very prevalent feeling.
It's
Yeah.
very dark,
Yeah.
but also light, like very quaint, but sad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's
a
a
little
unique
bit.
city. I love that city. Yeah.
Oh, I love it too.
Good. What's been your favorite food that you've tried so far? Because Marissa is, like she said, a little bit of a picky eater, but my goodness, she has been expanding her horizons left and right here. Favorite food?
I would say bangers and mash is probably the best dish I've had. Haggis was interesting. It certainly was not my favorite.
Could you tell people who are watching what bangers and mash, like how would you explain that in American terms?
Okay, so it's virtually sausage with mashed potatoes and gravy. But it's really good, all
Yes.
mixed together. I don't normally like gravy, so it's definitely interesting.
Okay, all right. So like I said, Marissa is serving as our chief adjudicator. So how does it feel to be on the flip side, not debating, but actually kind of chairing the judging and adjudication panel? How does that feel?
Well, it's really interesting because I still have that aspect of debate that's included in the adjudicating process. You know, I have to virtually argue for the positions that our students get. If, you know, I'm a chair, that means I can overrule, so sometimes my opinion's a little bit more important in those moments, or it's at least appreciated a little bit more. I would say I really like it, but it's just so different, especially with the British Parley debate, you
Right.
know. But I think it's really fun, you know.
Sure.
It's a little stressful sometimes, but it's definitely enjoyable.
It's unique to do this and this experience because in the States, we would never judge our own teams. And so here, Marissa is judging UCM teams, but she also has to go about it in a very unbiased way. So It's very unique. It's a different element that we don't experience in the States.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I kind of like that, though. I think it helps us to set aside bias in the future. Hopefully for other debates or when, we're adjudicating our students when they're practicing. Sometimes it's probably preferable. And I think it also makes them better debaters because, they know arguments that we all like very well.
Right.
And so sometimes they'll go deeper into the arguments that they should be running. So, and I really like that.
Okay. All right. So what's been your favorite debate so far?
I would probably say the last debate.
Okay. So St. Andrews.
So I would say the election of Trump. Primarily, I think the debate was very deep compared to the other ones. It went beyond the surface. It really fixated on what we don't like about the Trump administration and why we should regret the election. So I think it was just really detailed, and I really liked it. I think all the debaters did a phenomenal job. It took over 45 minutes to adjudicate the round. But
Which,
it was really awesome.
gave you multitudes of opportunity to hear Jack and myself speak for 45 minutes, which I'm sure you loved. But no, that was a fantastic debate. That was, wow, just solid all across the board. We later found out that the team that received the one from St. Andrews is the Scottish national champions. And well-deserved because, holy cow, that was fantastic.
Very great debaters.
Yeah, yes. And we got the 2 and the 3 out of that debate, so really, really great results for us as well against a very decorated, very, very competitive union. So, are you ready for our game?
Yes.
She sounds so excited. Okay, so now it's a face-off between you and Bobby.
Okay.
So I need you to probably try the same one so we can, judge you on the same sort of criteria.
Okay. So which? This one. This
Yep,
one?
yep.
Okay. This is very nice.
I know, it's our cheese spoon.
Oh
We
no.
kept the blue cheese out of it
It was
for
not
their
very
sake.
good.
Yeah, for their sake. And for the sake of whomever is sleeping in this room tonight.
Okay. So
All
I'm
right.
trying this one first.
Yes. And then you need to tell us what your palate is experiencing.
Okay.
Such refined and distinguished debaters we have on this trip.
It's very creamy.
Okay, it's creamy, good.
It kind of reminds me of Velveeta.
Excellent.
But
Which is that even cheese? Like,
that is the best kind of cheese. No, I'm just kidding. I would say, yeah, I would agree with Bobby. It does have kind of like a nutty flavor. It's very interesting. Probably isn't my favorite cheese.
Okay, all right. What kind of nuts?
Wow. Maybe walnuts.
Nobody's going to know.
I don't know.
A walnut finish. It has a distinct walnut finish. Yes. Okay. All right. Has been aged in a cardboard Velveeta box. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Very good.
Very good for mac and cheese.
Very
Yeah.
good for mac and cheese. Okay.
Yes.
All right. All right. Let's try the next one then.
How did Bobby cut this one? Okay.
I hope you all are enjoying this as much as I am. We thought it'd be fun to just kind of throw things, throw things for a loop, I guess. Ooh, that one looks like there's a lot going on.
I'm sorry. Very good. This one is more creamy than the last one.
Okay.
I would say it tastes more like cheddar,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also a little bit fruity too. I don't know what fruit.
Okay.
Maybe a grape.
A grape. We aren't tasting wine, I promise.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't have the best palate.
Okay. Is there a dish that you feel like this one would be best served with?
I think it would be served really well with spaghetti.
With spaghetti. And there you have it. Okay. All right. Well, Marissa, it has been so fun having you on this trip. We have adored having you as a graduate assistant and serving as our chief adjudicator, and I'm super excited to see what happens in the next 2 debates.
I am as well.
But I will let you leave the show as well, and we will bring on our chief adjudicator of the Montgomery Cup 2.1 Cheese Edition. We've got Nick, who is one of our digital media production students. Nick, could you just tell us a little bit about you, your year in school, and your particular focus for your special project that you're working on?
Sure. Thank you for having me on the show, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a digital media production student at the University of Central Missouri. My emphasis is live studio and remote production, which is a lot of what we're doing here on this trip, broadcasting your debates. I'm a junior in the program, so I have 1 semester left. I'll graduate in fall 2020.
Okay.
So I have a lot coming up on my schedule.
Yeah. And what's your special project for, because all of our digital media students are working on their own individual project in addition to broadcasting all of our debates. And I tell you what, footage for days. I mean, if you need somebody to get footage, this is your person.
I've been shooting for literally days.
Yes,
Yeah.
for literally
9 days to be exact.
9 days. Okay.
My personal project on this trip is shooting advertisements for the Study Abroad program with the Digital Media Production Department.
That's awesome.
So I've been working closely with the Integrated Marketing and Communications Office and with the administration building and making sure all of our graphics are up to code with the university logos and things like that. I designed the lower thirds, as I'm sure you've seen flashing across the bottom of the screen throughout this and the previous debates. But I've been following the debate team and the rest of our DMP crew as we go around to the different castles and sightseeing events. And I've been filming them and their experience with the Study Abroad program. That's sort of what I have to do, is get their perspective and use that for the advertisements, as well as get the perspective of just the sites in general.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So have you done a study abroad before this?
I did. At the end of my senior year of high school, after graduation, the AP English students had the opportunity to take a 2-week tour with a tour company. I forget.
Sure. Yeah.
And it was the Carousel Tour. We went through 6 countries in 2 weeks. It was about a different country every 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah, we had the same tour guide through the whole way. It was really impressive.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So would you encourage people to study abroad?
I would. It's a great opportunity, especially in a situation like this where you get to practice your craft.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important to get out of the classroom and learn how to use your skills in a practical manner.
Absolutely. And like I said, seriously, if you need somebody to get footage, to put packages together, any of our students that we have with us on this trip, y'all have been phenomenal.
Thank
It's
you.
been amazing.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
So fun to watch them. I mean, I wish you could see this setup. Like, it's amazing in here. Talk about learning skills, like in the moment, how to set up a broadcast lab anywhere.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. Literally anywhere.
On a hotel room bed.
Yes, yeah. But they're rocking it. They're doing an amazing job. So, Nick, what has been your favorite part so far?
Oh, I think my favorite part has been the broadcasts, especially during adjudication when you and Jack have to talk and wait for the final scores. That has been my favorite part to observe. I believe last night you were running a little bit low on things to talk about. I recall you talking about avocado toast
Yes.
and breakfast choices when we're starting to run out of time. It was very entertaining to watch.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. The avocado toast in St. Andrews is spot on. It's a great way to start your day. So, but yes, you're right. We did spread the gamut in terms of things to talk about. Sometimes those adjudications go really long.
I commend you. You've
Why,
done
thank you.
flawlessly
Thank you.
filling the time.
Well, thank you. I think I was asked the question, do you have a BA in BS? And I said yes. Yes, I do. But anyway, so Nick is not participating in eating the cheese. He is serving as our chief adjudicator in the cheese decision. So based on Marissa and Bobby's explanations, they're very refined, delicate palates.
Yes.
Talking about the nuttiness, the fruitiness, the relation to Velveeta.
The Velveeta threw me.
Yes, yeah, me too. Which individual, which debater do you think has the most refined palate on the trip thus far?
Well, I can't really speak to their palates because I don't know what the actual cheese tastes like. But as far as their descriptions of the cheese, I think I have to go with Bobby. She had the most the refined vernacular of comparing it, saying it would go well with fruit punch.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
I think, what fruit did she compare it to?
A berry.
A berry of some sort. Of
Yes.
some sort.
Yes.
And then Marissa said that the other one was like Velveeta texture.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's just not a cheese.
That's
So I
not,
have to-
that's not a cheese.
I have
so
to
we
go with
voted her
Bobby.
down for that.
Yeah.
We voted her down for that
Just
one.
by process of elimination.
We just thought it would be fun to do something a little bit different on the show. Next time we'll probably do tea and scones,
That sounds fun.
since we'll be down in England. But just a little bit more of a wrap up before we close out today. I just want to summarize all of the debates that we've had thus far in case you haven't had an opportunity to tune in. Nick, you're welcome to stay if you want.
I think
you
I
can-
will.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. So we started our trip debating Glasgow University, again, one of the oldest, most decorated, and extremely competitive unions in Scotland. And we came out of that debate with the 2 and the 3. And so that results in a tie. Because if you remember, there are 4 teams in each debate. And so then the adjudicators rank them 1 through 4, with 1 being the team that won the debate. So we walked out of Glasgow with the 2 and the 3. Very pleased with that against a strong and stellar union. And then that took us into Edinburgh, debating Edinburgh Debate Society. Again, phenomenal debate society. We had Nat on the show, and he had been talking about their society's success throughout this whole year so far. So we were extremely pleased to walk away with the 1 and the 4 in that debate, squeaking the 1 through. Pretty impressive against a strong and very, very competitive society as well. They've done extremely well in the Scottish National Circuit, so very pleased with that. That then turned us towards Dundee, and that was the debate that Bobby was alluding to, where we were talking about seeking accommodations with China or Russia. And we took the 1 and the 2 in that one. And it was just such a fun debate overall. Such pleasant people there. They're so sweet. We have such a fun time. We hang out with them for quite a bit of time afterwards, every time that we're here in Dundee visiting them. So the social part of that is just so fun with their union as well. And then we ended our Scotland leg in St. Andrews. And that was just the debate that you saw last night, and we walked away with the 2 and the 3 in that one as well. So ultimately, we have a lot of ties that we've experienced throughout our Scottish debates, and that's fantastic because for us, while the winning part is fun, it's so much more about the experience, the study abroad component, the educational component of this. So, great debates across the board. And that sets us up for 2 more debates on this year's Montgomery Cup, both happening in England. We will have one against Durham, and then we will have one against Imperial in London. So we have a few days in Durham. Durham is a beautiful, quaint little city. We have our debate. We'll visit the cathedral, but we're also using this as a midpoint rest day. This trip does get exhausting. I mean,
It takes a lot out of you.
It does. It does.
really does.
We take in as many sites as we can.
Yes.
The digital media production students are lugging around, I kid you not, probably like 500 tons of equipment. It's
That's
true.
accurate.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's-
I mean, math is not my thing, so that might be a little bit on the high side. I'm not sure. But they are lugging around so much equipment, and they are just such troopers. So it really is an exhausting trip. So we have a rest day planned in Durham. Then we'll turn our sights toward London and try to take in as much as we can.
Yes.
What are you most excited about in London?
Oh, probably the Millennium Bridge and the London Eye. I did
Yeah?
not get to go on the London Eye last time I was there.
Okay,
So
all
the line
right.
was pretty long. Hopefully I can get in.
Very exciting. I'm sure you probably can. It's
think so.
fun. I went
Yeah.
on it 2 years ago. It's pretty neat. It was so crazy because I've been to London a few times now, and I felt like I had really figured out the city, And then I got to the top of the eye and I realized I had only figured out about a 3
small
mile
portion.
radius of the city. And then everything else I had zero idea.
Right.
So it was really interesting to get that perspective. So I'm excited for you to
Me
experience
too. It was summer
that
last
as well.
time too, so I'm sure the lines will be shorter now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's in March.
Yeah, probably so. Probably so. Well, we are going to wrap up tonight's show, but I would love for you to send in any questions that you have because we will do a wrap-up show in England as well. And like I said, we'll be streaming the debates as well. But anytime you have a question, a comment, you want to send a little shout out to any of the debaters or our DMP students, please do so. We would love to have you interact with us as much as possible. So make sure that you follow the CTV YouTube station, that's Central TV, and we've been posting those on our Facebook page. I've also been posting them on our team Instagram page and my personal stuff too as well if you're one of my friends. So keep an eye on that, and we'll make sure that we post and advertise all of the broadcasts that are coming up soon. And we just really appreciate all of your support and for tuning in, and have a fantastic rest of the day. We'll talk to you from England.